So hello everyone, Namanjot Singh this side from NetClass. So in this video, this is the first class. In this video, we'll discuss about what network is, different basic concepts related to network, and we will start with the very basics. This class is very important for moving further, understanding the very basics of the networking. So stay with me for this class. Okay, so let's start with it. Uh, Before this, let's discuss what network is. Network means when two devices are able to communicate with each other, we would say it is under a network. For example, we have a node 1 and a node 2. Node 1 is simply a computer 1 and node 2 is simply computer 2. Node is the reference of any technical device which we will follow in this video. And when these two devices can communicate with each other, communicate means each one of them can either send or receive the signal and they can understand each other, we would say it is a network. It is a network. So why I say understand? Because we follow a specific standard. Standard means rules and regulations which we follow to make this both device communicate. For example, back in time, some IBM produces some computers and digital technology produces some computer, but both of these computers were not able to communicate with each other because they were from the different vendors. But in now time, if a laptop is from the Dell or from HP or any company, they can communicate with each other. Why so? Because there is a set of steps we follow now. So different OS can now communicate with each other. This is the perfect example of what network is. So networking means when we make them communicate with each other, it is known as networking. So this devices, when we follow this, use a certain cable type, which we will discuss in the next slide. So there are some characteristics of the network, I would say. Characteristic means that are the important things which are necessary while building a network and while considering a network or while studying about a network or troubleshooting a network. These characteristics are very important. So the first characteristic I would say is cost. What cost is? Cost means simply the economical value of any device. For example, you are having a network here, let's say this kind of network. This is your home network with a printer, a server with a printer and some PCs and a switch as well. This is the printer. So the cost of this, what should be the cost of this, and it should not exceed a specific budget. This comes under the cost, the characteristic cost of the network. So the next thing is speed. Speed of the network is very necessary. Why so? Even if you are living in your home and you are using a Wi-Fi, you are having a certain speed like 10 Mbps, 20 Mbps. So this certain kind of speed is very necessary for you. As you invest further, you get more speed. And when we are studying about network characteristics, speed is an important factor of this. The third thing is topology. What topology is? Topology means like how the network is arranged. For example, if I say this is a node and this is a node 2 and both are communicating with each other, and we pick a third node in a line and we connect all of three with a line, it looks like a bus, and we call it a specific bus topology. And as the topology changes, the cost changes and everything changes, the reliability changes. So as I discussed, after topology, the next thing is reliability. What reliability means is, for example, you have this kind of network. You are relying on this server for the network, and all other computers are also relying on this server. If let's say in future this server got out of service and we are left with this network, still we can use this network because these all devices are connected with a switch. So this switch can make them communicate, and without a server also we can make a network. Let's say if we are living in a network like this, we have a network like this, By the way, this is called as bus topology. Okay, it is called as bus topology connected to this. And by any chance, this specific cable got damaged or something, this PC1 cannot communicate with PC2, so this will be out of the communication. So now there is no communication with the PC3, so this is unreliable. And in terms of reliability also, we consider the network. The other thing is scalability. What scalability means is, again, in this kind of network, as many number of port switches have, we can connect different devices with these switches. I hope you understand. These are the different ports of the switches we will discuss about in further videos, but just for the analogy, these ports are used to connect different devices. And when we are connecting different devices with it, let's say one port got out of service and one port we cannot use, we can use other ports. So there are so many ports we can use. There are 24 ports in total we can use for connecting device. So as we discuss about scalability, it is very necessary to know how scalable our network is, what is our future goal and all. For example, you are running a small company and your goal is very big. You should buy a switch with a lot of ports, and if you know you will in future will not in need of so many ports, not in need of so many devices, you can go with cheaper options with a less port also. So as we discuss about this, scalability is also characteristics when we are discussing about a network, and the other thing is availability. So what this availability says is how this network is available, like how much this network is available, how much this we can rely upon this network with the availability. Let's say with this network, if I say we have another switch, and these two switches are connected in between, and this switch is connected with this server as well. There is no available port, but we can connect another server. Let's say there is another server, we can say, okay, with this switch is connected. These two servers are very similar. Let's say in future this server got out of service. Now this is out of service. We cannot use this particular server. But story doesn't end here. We can still use this server because this network is connected to another switch that is using a similar kind of server. So this comes under availability. It is still available. So a network should be cost effective under a specific cost you follow. It should have a certain speed. It should have a certain topology, logical or physical, which will be discussed in future videos. It should be reliable. You should be able to rely upon it. It should be scalable. You can scale up in the future, and the availability is also a very important factor when we are discussing about the network characteristics. So this is all about network. So network locations. Let's see this topic, network locations. When we are discussing about network, we say our network is in specific location. For example, let's say like I am in a house, and in this house I am connecting my 5 laptops with a switch, with a hub or a switch, and I am running a small business. In this small kind of business, I am following a network in a closed geographical region, that is my house, nothing to do with the internet. So this would be known as LAN. LAN. L stands for local, A stands for area, N stands for network. Similarly, if we are talking about a big geographical location, for instance, like I have a LAN in my house and somebody is having a LAN in different house, and we are able to communicate with each other with the use of internet, we would say we are using WAN. WAN. WAN stands for Wide Area Network. We will discuss in the further slides. So network topology wise, we would say either our network is LAN or our network is WAN. There are other types of network locations as well, but these are the major locations. LANs means local area network, and WAN mean wide area network. Okay, so let's discuss about this particular computer we have. For instance, when we have this laptop here, you would say different kind of ports in a laptop, right? The different kind of port in a laptop. What these port, how we can connect to internet with these ports. So let's see this now. When we are connecting two PCs with each other, we would say this is nothing but a type of Ethernet network. Ethernet. This is a type of Ethernet, the basic, the simplest form of network. How we do this? We are using a cable of RJ45 with RJ45 connector. What this cable came from? Let's say you would have seen this cable in your computer lab and anywhere around you like. So this cable internally is having 8 small copper cables. So these 8 cables are like this, cross by cross, have a significance of every wire has a certain significance, and this 8 wires go into a connector like this one that is known as RJ45. So this RJ45 connector looks like this, goes into a wall port, and the other end of this RJ45 goes into the laptop, this port. Where is this port? Like you see in the laptop here, you are having this port here, and you connect your one wire in the LAN port and one wire in your laptop. So this is a port. What is this chip behind? How this thing works? If this is 8 wires, if we have a wall port which is running a fiber cable from behind or any network internet cable from behind, we are using this cable to connect with this connector, and then we go with this cable and we connect it to our system. In a system we are having a port. Behind this port there is a chip. This is known as NIC. What NIC stands for? Network Interface Card. So this network interface card is capable of connecting you with the WAN, with the LAN. So how this works is, for example, you are having an office in Brampton and somebody is having a LAN in Mississauga. This is LAN 1, this is LAN 2, and you want this both office to communicate. Either you can run a cable between these two switches, or at the end there are routers, there should be routers. You can connect these two LANs with a cable, but distance between Brampton to Mississauga office is very much. This is not economical kind of solution as we discussed. So what you can do is you can connect this with the internet service provider. And when you connect with internet service provider already have a cable running. So these things come under wide area network. You are connecting to WAN and making use of internet service provider. Got it? Like this. So when you connect to the ISP in Brampton is connected with the ISP in Mississauga automatically. So we are creating a WAN here. So let's discuss about bits and bytes here. This is the, like I mentioned in the introduction part, I mentioned about the speed. This speed is Mbps, Gbps, how this speed comes from. So in let's take an analogy of kilo again. In 1 kilogram there is 1000 grams, right? In 1 kilogram there is 1000 grams, but in networking in 1 kilobyte there is 1024 bits. Bit is a smaller unit and byte is a bigger unit. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Let's see. When we are studying about this, 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. Bits is represented as small b and byte is represented by capital B. So what bit is either 0, 1, 1. This is a very important concept. And uh, when we are taking a bunch of 1024 bits, we say it is nothing but 1 kilobyte. But when we are taking 1024 kilobits, we would say it is 1 megabyte. 1 megabit. Sorry, 1 megabit. Okay, 1024 bit is equal to 1 kilobit. 1024 kilobit is equal to 1 MB. 1024 megabits is equal to 1 gigabit. So this is how things work. Okay, same is the case with byte. In speed of internet is in bits and data is in bytes. So 1024 of byte is equal to 1 kilobyte. You got it? So 1 byte is having 8 bits and 1024 bit is equal to 1 kilobit. 1024 byte is equal to 1 kilobyte. So this is how this works, the speed and all. So let's say if you're having a 128 bit of file, how much this file would take to get over kilobyte, to get over a connection of 1 Mbps. 1024 kilobytes, right? This is data. So 1024, how many bits is in this? 1024, 128 kilobyte is equal to 128 into 8 is equal to 1024 bits. So 1024 kilobyte, if we are having 1024 bits. So what this 1024 bits is equal to 1 megabyte. So this is nothing but 1 megabyte. So this is 1 megabit, right? 1024 bits is equal to 1 megabit. So data we are having 1 megabit and internet speed is having 1 megabit per second. So this whole file will take 1 second to upload. 128 kilobyte of file would take 1 second to upload over a connection of 1 Mbps. So this is the basics about it, the bits and the bytes, network topology, LAN, WAN. We have discussed about a lot of topics. So in next video, we will move further and discuss about the OSA reference model. That is another video, very important concepts. To stay connected with us, thank you for the support, guys.